Welcome back to the channel. It's LukeTheDuke, and things have gotten downright crazy on the review sites, and I've all but logged off of social media, for sanity reasons. But despite all that, Starfield continues to plug along, doing its thing, and I'm now about 110 hours in, and I can't seem to break free. Now, we've got some big news coming out of NVIDIA, possibly some performance relief for us non-AMD GPU owners. There's also news on the mod front, and I've started to install some into my game, and although this won't be a full mod review, I will make some quick recommendations to you. We've also got another Phil Spencer interview, another Steam Deck alternative, and a podcast clip that just makes you go, I posted my newest 15 Starfield secrets, tips, and tricks video back on Monday, and I was blown away by your support. I'm still here just shaking my head in disbelief, and I wanted to again give you my most sincere thanks. In case you haven't yet done so, please hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Likes, comments, shares are greatly appreciated. Chapters are available for a smooth and easy viewing experience, and let's get this one rolling. Kicking this one off is an update on Handhelds and Starfield, and I've tried my best to keep up on the latest for this one because I know it's super popular. Being able to travel around with your high-tech gaming devices is always a plus, and unfortunately, Steam Deck is suffering mightily with Starfield, and while ROG Ally is doing much better, it is punishing on the old battery. Cue up the Razer Android gaming handheld, and according to Tom's Hardware, using this device along with an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and some decent bandwidth with their router, and apparently Starfield is running pretty well. They even took the Razer out into the field and tried playing Starfield over a 5G signal, and although they had to wait a few minutes for a server queue, the game still ran smoothly. So for anyone out there that doesn't yet have a handheld and are looking for one that is capable of running Starfield on the move, apparently this Razer Android is doing the job with gusto. And by the way, I haven't seen much of a follow-up about this other headline. Starfield generates massive waiting times on cloud gaming service up to 245 minutes queues. So hopefully they scaled up their servers or did whatever they needed to do to cut that down to a minimum. Next up is a huge announcement for owners of NVIDIA GPUs with this Verge headline: NVIDIA boosts Starfield performance with GPU driver update. And as an owner of a 3090, my eyes immediately lit up when I got the news. Now, the update will affect GeForce RTX 40 series and GeForce RTX 30 series desktop and laptop GPUs, boasting a 5% increase in performance. And my heart sank when I read that, hoping it was a typo and there was a 0 missing after the 5, taking it up to 50%. There will be an over-the-air update to driver 537.17 and the new 537.34 driver released late yesterday. And this last bit here from The Verge really caught my attention. Listen to this. NVIDIA's updates came just days after the experts at Digital Foundry found that Starfield is a bizarrely worse experience on NVIDIA and Intel compared to AMD GPUs. Digital Foundry found issues with the Intel CPUs and a 46% performance gap between AMD's Radeon RX 6800 XT and NVIDIA's RTX 3080 and Starfield. That's an unusually large gap, and we'll have to see if this new resizable BAR profile update helps to close it. Now, we were told up front when we got these early review copies for Starfield that recording software that uses GPU acceleration will slightly hurt the PC performance. And I've been rolling some clips here in the background of me using the older driver versus the newest driver along with some on-screen graphics. And my GeForce RTX 3090 Founders Edition is seeing basically no increase in frames. And I am using PureDark's NVIDIA DLSS PC mod as well. Even when I throw the game over to one of my 2560 by 1440 monitors and record it over there, I still don't see a sizable gain. Maybe it is my hardware, I honestly don't know. Maybe it's time to custom build a pure gaming rig versus what I have now, which is more tailored for huge render work. hopefully this gets sorted out and we see a much larger performance gain in the future. And I know a lot of you out there are probably like, hey man, my game runs fine for me, no issues here. And if that's the case, I'm truly stoked for you. Starfield also runs pretty well for me on my setup, but you know how it is. You always want more frames and liquid smooth visuals, and I'm just not there right now. Moving on, and I know it's a few days old, but Phil Spencer made a few headlines with statements to CNBC. We've had more players for any next-gen exclusive than we've had this generation all up, and apparently he was referring to the current consoles, of course the Series X and S, which both launched in 2020. Now, Spencer went on to applaud Starfield, which at the time was sitting at an 86 out of 100 on Metacritic, adding on that 25 million Game Pass subscribers would also get an opportunity to launch into the game. By the way, more on that Metacritic statement in a moment because it has now changed. Spencer finished up by stopping short of proclaiming that Starfield would debut on the PlayStation, because of course it isn't. I don't know why it's written here, but he is promising that some of Activision's most popular titles will remain available on the PlayStation for years to come. Okay, so pretty standard talking points from Spencer. By the way, I geek out on numbers, so I would love for Microsoft, Xbox, whoever to tally up the total concurrent players on Game Pass, Windows, Steam, the whole smash, and post that for everyone to see. We've already seen this 6 million Starfield players tweet, but I have a feeling it's sitting even higher now. And speaking of even higher, the number of reviews and bombing runs has increased across all the review sites, with Starfield currently sitting at a 6.4 user review rating on Metacritic. Now, I'm not going to really show you any of these, but there is a string of zeros and ones with no real criticisms, besides some incoherent ramblings, and we all knew this was to be expected. Starfield, for better or for worse, has been an extremely polarizing game. I happen to enjoy the hell out of it, but I can appreciate the fact it's not for everyone, and I can respect that. Currently on Steam, Starfield keeps hovering around the 4th most played game, behind Baldur's Gate 3 and of course Dota 2 and CSGO, and with nearly 41,500 reviews now on record, the rating is mostly positive, with 77% of the reviews leaning in favor of the game. Now, what I don't understand is going out of your way to just publicly bash something that you yourself have not taken the time to truly experience. And David Jaffe really set this one up well, as he gets a caller on his podcast claiming to have played Starfield only to just get thoroughly exposed.
It's a little bit almost more like Mass Effect, where it's more story-oriented, it's pushing you in a certain direction.
Do you think that was the choices you made? What is her name? Lynn or Lim, the lady who's your boss? Do you think part of it is just the fact that she asked you to burn the bodies and shit, and it should be more of a choice versus she forces you to do it, and it's almost like it's scripted at that point?
That's some of it.
I mean, that didn't happen at all in the game, so I'm assuming you haven't played it yet, correct?
No, I swear to God, I played it, but it's
wow.
When you go to...
You could take this example of public bashing and apply it to so much of the negative press towards Starfield. Lack of any familiarity with the game, bashing for the sake of bashing, same old, same old. I mean, is the game perfect? Absolutely not. Does it need work and constant improvements? Hell yes, but a 0 or a 1? No way. But I've got to say, calling into a show live on air and tossing around these negative statements and talking points only to be called out, that's a new one I haven't seen yet. And let's wrap this one up with this Polygon article and the announcement. Official mod support for Starfield is coming next year. If you think there are a lot of Starfield mods now, just you wait. Now, according to Todd Howard in a Famitsu interview, mod support in the form of the creation kit for Starfield will be coming out in 2024. And, this kind of falls in line with what Bethesda has done in the past, right? Mod support for Skyrim took 4 months, Fallout 4 was 6 months, and this creation kit could take even longer as it runs on the new version dubbed Creation Engine 2. Now, I'm not prepared enough to do a full review of some of the mods I've installed into the game, but one I've already mentioned is that Pure Dark Starfield upscaler, and this thing has been downloaded over 570,000 times, so it is wildly popular. I also immediately went and grabbed the achievement enabler so I could continue to knock those out and not be penalized for having a modded game. Starfield FOV is a godsend as it pulls back the camera to an FOV of 100 from the base game percentage of 85% for first person and 70% for third person. And the final two I took the time to install have been Natural LUTs for a more vivid color grade and filter, and the Eyes of Beauty, which changes all the eyes in the game over to a more realistic and colored work of art. Now, I'm sure there are channels out there that specialize in mod reviews. I've never done one, but if that's something you'd like to see from me and my channel in the future, let me know in the comment section below. And if you are interested in the mods that I mentioned, links to all of them can be found in the video description. Remember to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Likes, comments, shares are greatly appreciated. All my socials can be found in the video description. Shout out to the now over 159,000 of you that have stuck with me and hit subscribe. And a special thanks goes out to my patrons and to those of you firing over those awesome YouTube super chats. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.